Well, today's the day that we've been preparing for, or dreading, I'm not sure which. We're here in Albury, going to go through our little apiary over here. We've been notified that there has been Varroa detected literally just around the corner from this site. So we're going to get in there today and check out just to see what we've got and what thresholds might be if they have found our hive. The other thing we'll do while we're in there, as we are in autumn heading into winter, we're going to check out what they're up to for stores and whatnot, make sure they're okay and don't need feeding. This hive's usually pretty good going into winter. Being in town, it seems to get through pretty good. But we'll check all that out and see how we go. So we're about to get into our hive. Thought there seemed to be a lot of activity over under this tree. And then we realise got a European wasp nest just there. Looks like an absolute cracker. So we might notify the landlord of that, so we can do something about them, or if he needs, we can come back tonight and sort them out. All right, we've got our smoker going. Let's get in and have a look, see what we can find. I'm a little agitated today, but that could be because those wasps are just there, I reckon. Okay, so looking in there, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I reckon about 5 frames of bees up the top. They're not as bad as I thought they might have been. I reckon it could be just them wasps agitated. Have a quick squiz up the top here first. That was a nice start. Interesting, it's filling from the bottom. That's 3/4 or a bit better. That one's just drawn out but empty. So now this one I probably would, if I could, leave it as a double brood box over the winter. But if we find mites, just due to the treatment, I won't. I will try, well, I won't say I won't, but I'll try and get it down to 1. There's another frame that's looking very good. 90% kept, both sides. Just like to trim up the bird comb as I'm going along. Save squashing bees. As we put it back together. It's another good one. That one's full, that one. Well, not quite, but pretty close. Might just check the camera's rolling after the other day. Just checking. Story the propolis up off the shoulders as well. So when we go to put them back together, it all fits nice. There you go. Some people have asked why I wear the blue gloves. I started wearing the blue gloves because I was told, oh, the bees don't recognise it as human skin, so they won't ever sting it. So, me being, well, I'm going to call it ingenious, I put the gloves over my blue gloves over my other gloves to protect them, keep them clean. It also has helped, and I've just had the first one try and sting the blue glove. So I'm kind of glad I had it underneath. I think they definitely do help. Done very well here. Which I was expecting. Being in town, there's always a flora source of something around. Yeah, that one looks lovely. Whereas out on the farm, it's not quite that easy. that edge one, like the first one we looked at, about 3/4. Put them all back together. I'm not going to worry about those last two. I can tell that they're just as good as the rest of them. This one back in. Alright, so our second part of today was to check for stores. We know we've got plenty in the top, so we can just drop some of that down the bottom. Right, so our smoker going again. Just put a bit of that around. Now we'll get into this one. Right, when we get into here, we're going to be looking for brood comb. Find some nurse bees to get our sample from. Alright, next, come up. Grass. See what works anyway. Talk about frames of bees, there'll still be 3 or 4 frames there, and this one's nearly full. Now that one we've got 90% full of honey and nectar, all capped honey, nectar through here, plus a fair bit of pollen. Great. Just sit that over here for a minute. Alright, we'll have another look. Alright, this one we've got a little bit of capped brood. Not a heap. Let's see if I can see the queen as we're going. Make sure we don't include her in our sample. Good amount of pollen coming in. Again, a little bit of capped honey. Don't see any brood in that one. Alright, at least this one's got it. This is more of a brood comb. So we can see it. But we've got a bit of capped brood there, a bit of uncapped stuff here. So lots of pollen. Good stocks of pollen already. Can't see the queen on there. So we might take a few of these. We'll put these in the box. So we'll chuck them in there. A few of these will come back. Another one, quite a bit of capped brood. So the point. Now that's interesting because there's a dry queen cap there. See it? Alright, can't see the queen on this one either. So we'll grab a few off that as well. Was that up, Dave? I'm working up a sweaty suit. So we've got another good one. A variety of brood stages. No real young stuff I can see. Take all that off. Don't need that. That goes in it. There's cap brood. Cap brood and nearly cap brood. And on this side, much the same. Alright, there's some younger ones in there. Keep going, see if we can find this queen before we get too many more. Oh, the window. Around a queen. Oh, that's a full one. Not full, a lot fuller. 80% caps. Same on both sides. Very cool. Alright, it's going to trim up that bottom. There we go. You cannot see our queen. More patchy this one. It's got a good amount of brood this time of year. Pollen coming in, nectar. About this queen, mate. So I've had this hive here for a bit over 12 months now. I don't think I've ever been able to find a queen here. So obviously she's in here. But she does not want me to find her. These frames are getting a bit more honey in them now. They're nearly probably over a third honey. And then a bit cap brood in the middle here. So, given where we're at, time of season, I'm going to say they've got enough pollen. I'm happy with the amount of nectar and honey they've got. This one's nearly half full. So I won't feed them at this stage. I reckon in the next month I'll bring in enough of their own. So I've artificially feeding them. Well, that's another inspection where I haven't found the queen. You can see that frame's 3/4 full of honey, capped honey. Okay, so we'll just tie up these shoulders again. I'll put everything back in. Just see what bees we've got left over there. Now the field bees should have all left us. Alright, we've probably got enough. I'm just looking. The way we're buzzing over here, I wonder if the queen might be here somewhere. A bit of activity as if she might just have a bit of a look. See it in there still. We're getting a bit of a dance in here as if to say that she is. Now that doesn't mean she is. It's usually a good sign. It's not there. I can't see her in there. I'm thinking they're just clustering because they think she should be here. That was a beating. So I think we'll try and get our sample pot out of there. Keep up these ones that aren't fussy, so I've got a clear idea to see what's going on. Grab a few more in there. these back and tidy everything up so that everything gets back to normal. Just tidy up our queen excluder a bit. Get that on. Hooper back on. Alright, well that's done. So we've got our bees in our wash. We know that they're pretty right. We'll come back in a couple of weeks probably and then make an assessment whether we just drop a couple of those frames down or what we're going to do. Will depend on what we find in this sample. So we'll get out of the way, let the bees get back to it and we'll go sort them out. Got a little sample in here, we'll give it a shake, see what we can knock off. "15 seconds is what they reckon. And if we go a bit longer than that, we should be laughing. Alright, it's got to be getting close. What can we see? So far so good. I won't get our hopes up just yet. Alright, take them out so we can have a better look. Well, there's not heaps if there's any. That's just a bit of debris. And they look a bit sus. Alright, we'll keep this sample, take it back to some better light and we'll have a proper look. I reckon we might have 1, 2, 3. If not, there's 3 very suspicious looking bits of debris. Alright, well, V-Day looks like it's arrived. Let's head back home and we'll have a proper look, shall we? Might just leave the bees in there. See if we can't knock a few more off on the way home. Alright, well we knew the day was coming. It's alright, we just deal with it. It's just a new challenge. We'll seek some advice. We know what we think we've got to do, but we'll get some advice from others that have dealt with it. Have a bit more experience, make sure we do the right thing heading into winter, and we'll go from there. So I've just got home and pulled out our remnants of our wash today in at the Apiary, and certainly have found some Varroa in there. There's 4 in there. We won't be able to see it on here, I wouldn't imagine. But anyway, we'll take a photo of it and I'll put it in the video somehow. But anyway, we knew the day was coming. There's 4 in there, so we'll assume there were 300 bees. We might actually do a count later. So that's just about 1.3 about it. But what it means is that with a bit of luck, timing will be right. We'll be able to treat them going into winter so that they'll make it through the winter all right, come out the other end and ready to fly off in the spring. Alrighty, we'll catch you on the next one.